situations you respond to?
Yeah. So in this case, actually, we have not only Northwest Team 2 as an incident management team, but we also have the Oregon State Fire Marshal's Office that are working in unified command. We're also working with ODF, rangeland associations, BLM, U.S. Forest Service, national parks, and the tribes. And so we have a lot of different stakeholders as this fire is burning through a lot of land.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess you're not just in Wheeler County either with this, are you?
Correct.
This is a big area.
Yeah, we're a little bit in Crook, and we're a little bit over in Wasco.
Wow. So
Yeah.
involving the tribes, obviously, it makes
Yep.
sense. Okay. Um, yeah, that's what I was going to ask about. Your just coordination with those other agencies. So BLM lands are closed. Can you talk about what BLM does versus Oregon State Fire Marshal, and kind of who does what?
Yeah, so we have teams that specifically work in that wildland environment, and they're working with direct and indirect strategies to contain the fire. The Oregon State Fire Marshal's Office specifically focuses on protecting homes and structures. But right now, everybody's focused on homes, structures, and public safety, making sure lives are protected as this fire is dynamic and moving. For people's context, this was 12 different fires, this complex. Some of those have burned together, and we still have about 3 to 4 fires that are still out there independent. But that larger one, we're calling the Crosswhite fire, is the largest one of them all.
So we're talking on Sunday, I think about 126,000 acres have burned. What do you think the next kind of 24 to 48 hours, is this a kind of critical time for the fire, and if, how so?
Yeah, so weather, the fuels on the ground is not going to be in our favor for the next couple days. So that's why firefighters are going to be really cognizant of where this might move to, and are using strategies to protect communities and try and move this into places that it's going to be a little bit more manageable, but mainly making sure that the communities in the area are protected.
So currently you were talking about the kind of Crosswhite area, what was the Crosswhite area being the most severe. Can you talk a little bit specifically about that area?
Yeah, I mean, so the Crosswhite fire is that main body of which multiple fires have come together to make. And some of that is what's on the northern edge near Fossil. So we're being really cognizant of how that is encroaching on the area. And we're working really closely with Wheeler County Sheriff on a day-to-day basis on evacuation levels and what is responsible as far as making sure communities are notified if they need to leave the area.
You were mentioning that you're moving the command center to Spray. I was just wondering if you could talk about, the reason for doing so. And I think the area, the town of Mitchell, as well as kind of both of those towns are kind of on the periphery of the fire, but the fire is kind of closing in. Let's talk about why moving to Spray, but also what people in both of those communities might need to be prepared for.
Yeah, we have 2 different elements here, right? One is the group that's working to plan and support firefighters that are on the ground doing the job. And that team is moving to Spray for their incident command post so that we can have a little bit more room, right? We're hoping to get more resources, even though they're stretched right now across the entire nation. We're at a preparedness level 5 for the region and for the state, which means we are stretched.
That's as high as it goes, I'm guessing?
As high as it goes. So that means that we're putting in lots of requests for things, and they're just not available. And then it takes time for those resources to come out of area. So as far as those that are supporting the fire, they're going to be moving their incident command post, so we have more space to support the firefighters. Firefighters are going to remain here in Fossil, and they're going to be over in communities like Mitchell and all the areas around. So we'll remain in having a presence there, and we'll still be working to protect all of these communities. The group that's actually here, mounting up right now, they're headed to Mitchell because that is where we have some fire that's working in that landscape in the Painted Hills and north of that area, and they want to make sure it doesn't come near town.
Yeah. This is obviously a big tourist time of year. You mentioned the Painted Hills. I think it's like 200,000 people come to the Painted Hills a year.
Yeah.
Has there been some challenges with people in the area, just coming through, motorcyclists or campers, whatever, that you've had to pay particular attention to, or is that just kind of part of the fire in general?
I wouldn't say it's been a huge hazard or challenge. But the reality is some road closures have occurred. Sometimes we've had to temporarily close roads for fire operations. We've had down trees and rocks that are happening in roads as well. And then just people knowing that in this area, we have a lot of heavy apparatus that are operating, and firefighter safety is our number one priority. So if people can reroute and find different ways to move through the region, it's greatly appreciated. Trip check to see where closures have occurred so that you don't end up in the middle of fire operations. Okay. And the last part is visibility. With all this smoke in the area, there's a lot of roads that when you're driving, just like heavy fog, it's really hard to see, and you won't be able to see that far ahead of you. So again, using caution, headlights on, and moving slow.
Wow. How many people do you estimate are here, on your team, but in general, with everybody?
Let me check. I'm trying to remember what our latest number is. I think we're at 500, but I don't know for certain.
That's all right.
I can get that for you.
Maybe around 500?
I think it's around 500 for something sounds familiar, but I'll double check for you.
That's right. Could you talk a little bit about the local RFPD guys? I know that they were working hard before everybody arrived, and local landowners. Can you talk about any interactions that you've had with those folks?
Yeah, we've worked really well as the Oregon Department of Forestry in opening up those connections and those communications with those RFPAs. And we've been working as much as we can with them on this incident. They've been working hard and long days, just as our firefighters have. Some of our crews have been here since Thursday, and they've been here since the beginning. So it's really any resources that are available and working with them, as long as we're working safely in coordinated effort. So those relationships have been great, and community members have been very welcoming and helpful in giving local knowledge to our firefighters so they can be as effective as possible and safe if they need to exit.
You spoke about some of your team members just coming in from another fire. Where have you guys been so far this season before coming here to Fossil?
Yeah, so our incident management team and some of the task forces that were here right now, we were in the Salmon Fire and the Olive Butte Fire previous to this in Prairie City. Okay. And then we got moved over to this one. The task force that was here just now, they were at that same fire with us. And then they went to the fire that was outside Milton Freewater. Then they went to another fire in Arlington, and now they're here. So this is really a dynamic moment for the Oregon Fire Service and wildland firefighters across the nation, as we have a lot of fire on the landscape, and we have a lot of crews that are working really hard to try and protect communities and save structures.
Great. Well, thanks, Stefan. Anything else you want to add?
No, just we're putting out a lot of fire information right now, and there's a number of different fires in the area. So be aware, we are coordinating with those that are happening outside of Condon, those that are happening near Prineville, to make sure information is coordinated and efforts aren't duplicated. But please follow. We have some Facebook pages for all of those fires, as well as information lines that can be found there if anybody has questions or needs anything. And then we've also got fire information boards that are getting out throughout the community. So a little bit of patience as we've been getting up and running, but hopefully people will have a lot more information in that, as well as follow the local sheriff's offices for updated evacuation information.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.